Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Now, of course, we've called for Michael Matheson to resign, to go, to be no more. We've done this over the iPad scandal. We still don't know what's on it, and we want to know why he is so reticent as to release it for inspection, meaning we only can assume the very worst, and by that I mean the very, very worst of things that are on it. However, I'm also going to call for him to go over what we're going to look at now. And it is a most shameful figure. With 830,000 Scots on a waiting list for the NHS, which has got a £400 million deficit. A fifth, or maybe a sixth of all Scots, 1 in 6 Scots on a waiting list for the NHS. That is no way to run a fish stall, is it? And that amount of money, 400 million in deficit for the NHS, is money that could easily have been reclaimed had the SNP not wanked it away on foreign embassies, on spin doctors, on glossy brochures, and on all the other things that they think are important. They seem to think that that's more important than human beings. We saw from the last video that that's certainly true. They don't care if people die on the streets. So why should they care if they die in a hospital waiting room? Let's have a look at this and see why Matheson must go. Here we go. So Michael Matheson must act. With 830,000 Scots on waiting lists and the NHS with a £400 million deficit. Money that should have been spent on the NHS but was spent, as I say, on all the other things that they think were important about independence. Well, there's no point being independent if everybody's dead. What kind of people are they? Well, we know they're heartless sociopaths with no empathy, no sympathy, no humanity. It's just their way or the highway. And look at him sitting there blowing the dust, the white Colombian dust from his nose, I presume. The NHS Scotland crisis has been laid out in yet more waiting time figures, giving fresh insight into spending that has come with warnings for Humza Yousaf to sort out the backlog in which the SNP have lost control and avoid service cuts. Now, of course, what you've got there is the previous and current NHS health ministers, neither of which were capable of doing their job. One was promoted up and one needs to go. Actually, they both need to go, but one's already sort of out of that job and into a worse one. But Matheson needs to go. This is shameful. He's doing nothing. He's not even doing his day job now because he's too busy worried about what will people think when they do finally get hold of his iPad and see the disgusting stuff that's on it. Scotland's NHS has fallen into an almost £400 million deficit in just 6 months, as SNP ministers contend with around 830,000 Scots waiting for treatment on the NHS. Dealing with the health service deficit must take priority before it leads to service cuts, warns the Scottish Lib Dems, who responded to a letter from the Chief Executive of NHS Scotland revealing that health boards are facing a forecast deficit of £395 million, nearly £400 million, and that is in just 6 months. Meanwhile, £20 million, £30 million a year spent on foreign embassies, £8 million a month spent on spin doctors. You have all the glossy brochures. You're paying millions a year for all, not just for the minister, head Jamie Hebburn, but also all his staff and his pensions and things, just to push the independence message, which is not even something they can do. Millions upon millions and millions of pounds wasted on something that is never, ever going to come to fruition because the vast majority of Scots don't want it anyway. And yet they keep wasting the money on that. Meanwhile, your wife, your son, your uncle, your granny, they're all dying, waiting in a queue to be treated on the NHS. I ask the people of Scotland, what is more important, your health or some abject fairy tale that will never happen? And yet these heartless, inhumane wankers seem to push that as a priority above your family's health. Even if you're an SNP supporter, look to the people in your family who are waiting for an operation, waiting for treatment, and ask, is it more important to have independence, or is it more important for them to be treated? That's the real question you need to be asked. And I think you know the answer. Lib Dem leader Alex Cole-Hamilton said the crisis risks spiralling out of all control. I think it's already there. I think it's past that. We did yesterday where they're looking that they're going to actually have to start charging for certain services within the NHS. It's that bad now. It says the latest round of NHS stats are published and they reveal that cancer treatment alone shows an increase in more fatal late-stage stage 4 diagnoses of breast cancer. Of over 40,000 patients are still waiting over a year for an outpatient procedure, and 18,000 patients are still waiting longer than 18 months simply to be seen. These figures, he says, are utterly disgraceful, and you cannot describe them as anything else. I would suggest criminal, crime against humanity, while they have the facility to do something about it and choose not to. That is a crime against humanity. In a letter to the Scottish Parliament's Health and Social Care Committee, NHS Scotland Chief Executive Caroline Lamb said, the consolidated position for all NHS boards at month 6 of 2023-24 is a forecast deficit of £395 million. And they've got the money. The NHS have got the money. They've got billions. They were given billions. And you have to ask where that's gone. That's been salted away. That's been lost. That needs a full investigation. And people need to go to jail over that. Never mind the 600,000. Where are the billions gone? She went on to say that she had made clear, my expectations of all NHS boards, the scale of the deficit must reduce. And I expect the 3% recurring savings target to be worked towards both in 2023 and 2024. Do you know that she's not going to get any of this? Because they keep cutting the funding. Oh, they keep giving you the bullshit. They'll go, oh, we're giving more money and more money and more money. But while that money isn't keeping pace with inflation, it's a real term cut. And you have to ask, where is the money going? Who's getting rich? Who's getting fat? Because guarantee there is criminality at the heart of the SNP government. And a lot of money is being salted away, embezzled. Billions of pounds of embezzlement. People at McMafia are getting rich. And no one is wanting a full investigation. And why is Westminster not giving a full investigation? Get them in. Get a whole team. Forensic accountants. Get in the Secret Service. Get, the security services in. Go through these people. Question them. And then put them in jail for the remainder of their lives for what they're doing. They're killing people. We've seen they're killing people on the streets. They're killing people in hospitals now. And it's deliberate policy. They're hiding the money. They're not giving the money they've got to where it needs to go. Public Health Scotland data from the 30th of September 2023 revealed that 525,654 patients were waiting for an outpatient procedure. 151,000 were waiting for an inpatient procedure and 151,000 were waiting for a diagnostic procedure. So they still haven't even been diagnosed. This means 398 patients were waiting for an NHS procedure. That's up 8,000 on the previous quarter. The Scottish Government said, we're working closely with all the boards to deliver essential reform and sustainable services fit for the future. And you know straight away, that is not only just a lie and complete bullshit, but that is them trying to cover up the awful mess that they've made because they're stealing money left, right and centre from where it needs to go to fill the pockets of themselves, their friends, their mates, the organisations that are going to look after them when they are finally thrown out of government. It is one huge criminal organised crime, and it's got to be investigated, and they all need to go to jail for a massive amount of time. There's no way that you can hide billions of pounds and think you're going to get away with it. But they probably are going to get away with it because nobody's got the stomach to go look for it. But it's our money. Anyway, Dr. Gillane, who's the Tory health spokesman, said the future of Humza Yousaf's flimsy NHS recovery plan to remobilise frontline services following the pandemic means more and more Scots are suffering longer and potentially deadly delays as we head into another period of winter chaos in the health service. It is time for Matheson to go. Ask Matheson what he's done with the billions of pounds that he's had for the NHS, which is not going to the NHS. It's got to go somewhere. Billions is gone. There's at least 3 billion missing in the Scottish accounts. Where's it gone? And why are they still wanking money away on foreign embassies? Why are they still paying 8 million a month for spin doctors and not real doctors? Why are the SNP allowed to get away with it? Why is no one in Westminster thinking, do you know, this was a failed experiment. Let's just get rid of the Scottish Assembly and start again. And this time do it without the crooks. Let's make the SNP a criminal organisation and put it on a watch list and say membership is illegal because of the damage they're doing, the people they're killing. And firmly believe that. That is how bad it is. Anyway, I'm going to stop there because it is just beyond a joke. He needs to go. If he's not busy to very young people, which I'm pretty sure he might well be, and until he hands that iPad over, that's all I can see in him. That's all I see is someone who does that over images and videos of very young people. I might be wrong, and I hope I am. But until he hands that iPad over, that's all I see out of that man. As he's blowing white dust from his nose. And apart from losing his job for that, he also needs to lose his job for the criminal oversight, the crimes against humanity that he is overseeing as the camp commandant of the NHS. I'm coming up. Do you know, having said he was the camp commandant, the more I see of Michael Matheson, the more I think he looks like Amon Gut. He was the commandant. If you ever watch Schindler's List, yeah, him, Amon Gut. Unbelievable man. And he knows it's going on. He knows people are dying on his watch. Oh yeah, he doesn't care. He's not even going into the office anymore. He's not a health minister. He is the Minister of Truths. He is the one responsible to being charged with getting rid of old people, getting rid of the infirm, getting rid of the ill, in the same way that they did in Germany in the 30s. He's no different, is he? He is there. He is eradicating those who are unworthy of life in the eyes of the SNP, it seems, allegedly. Cover myself. But I don't see them as any different. That's where they've got now. That's who the SNP are. They are basically running concentration camps that will eradicate millions of people over time. Only they call them the NHS Hospitals of Scotland. And he is leading them. He's got to go. And they've all got to go. And there's got to be a full investigation into where all the money has gone. And when it's found, follow the money, you know, the full audit trail, and start jailing every single one of them. And make the SNP an organisation for which membership is illegal, and disband it, and steal all their assets. Not steal, retrieve all the assets they have. Everything. Take everything from them. And I mean everything. Their homes, their cars, everything. They have to pay for the damage they've done. And every single one of them needs to pay. God, I hate them. I'm stopping now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I haven't gone off the rails too much on this one, but it is anger inducing, especially when you know the human cost of what they're doing. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and be thankful that you've got your health, if you've got your health, and be worried if you haven't. Bye.